Hey, you already know who it is. It is your girl Tay coming at you today with a review on that Disney Pixar episode Soul, which came out on a Christmas Day. I had a chance to watch it and I got some thoughts. I have some unpopular opinions and you just might not like them. So stay tuned if you want to know more. So Disney, this movie, you know you're wrong. You know you're wrong because you let us on. Okay, you let us on, and I don't like that. Right? So I'm pretty sure you already know what is going to be my first gripe with this film, and that is I don't appreciate the race baiting. I do not appreciate the way that this trailer was set up to basically get all the black folk riled up, excited to watch this movie. When you look at the trailer, it gives you a very much so exactly what it says. The name of the movie, Soul. It gives you a soulful vibe. I'm like, okay, y'all about to tell a black story. All right, so I like that. It's giving me a very much so. Oh, I'm gonna hear some good music, okay? Because it has these scenes where we hear jazz. The main character, he is a musician, a jazz player. So we see these scenes of other black people in community in a barbershop playing music together, and like I said before, it gives you a vibe that you're going to have black people have corrective promotion and representation and have their stories told. And it went like that. The reason why Disney even did this is because, of course, they know how valuable the black dollar is. And they wanted to make sure that black people showed out for this movie. I mean, when we look at all that happened last year in 2020, we look at the racial uprising, all of these companies, businesses come out saying that they stand with black people in our fight of, just civil rights, our fight for equality, the right to live. We see how lucrative that can be, and we can see how detrimental it can be for a company or a business not to verbally say or express that they are standing with black people. So with all of that being said, of course they had this big monopoly company, Disney. They felt like they really had to do that to make this movie even seem like something that black people would be interested in watching. I do not appreciate it because it just seems like black people, they only, in our lives and stories, we only matter when it comes to making money. Because when we actually get to the film, much of Joe's story is stolen. It is taken away from it. Like all of the saturation, the meaning is taken away because the person who's in his body is a white woman, which is the voice of Tina Fey. From my impression, it seemed like there was going to be this black main character, this black protagonist, but in reality, when we get to that film and when they in the great beyond or the afterlife or whatever it is that it's supposed to be, I got a little confused here because we had like the pre-souls and where they're supposed to be, then we had the afterlife, the great beyond, and the in-between. It was just a lot. Okay, everything was when they finally reincarnated back to Earth, the pre-soul, which is voiced by a white woman, ends up in the black guy's body. And this is where she finds her purpose, through a black man. And I'm like, this don't even make sense. Like, I get it's an animation and and stuff like that, and it's for children, so it doesn't all have to be, like grammatically and politically correct. But you mean a white woman find a purpose through a black man? In this racial climate, get out of here. And that's also my problem. Like, Disney is fully aware of the racial climate. Like, and it just shows that they really don't care, because the two do not even correlate. They actually negate each other. Because on one hand, we want to portray this movie as if it's really telling an authentic black story. But then when it comes to it, they're saying that this white woman finds purpose in a black man. I hate it. A lot of things in this film did not make sense to me. For instance, when the movie first starts in the beginning and Joe is teaching, there's a room full of kids. All different types of kids, but most definitely got black kids in the room. Yet, the star player, the star musician in the room is a non-black person of color. It is a non-black person of color. And this is not me being racist or being prejudiced, but it's like, because a lot of people are going to say, or do say, well, why does color matter? Why does that matter? Well, if it doesn't matter, then why could that not have been shown? See, a lot of times these companies, they know the power of the images that could be. Like, they know the power of a black man really being portrayed in this movie, having a purpose and finding their spark and all of this stuff. Like, they really know the subconscious and true power of that, which is why they do not show it. Why couldn't it be a little black boy or a little black girl who found passion in playing this soul music in a movie called Soul, which y'all are portraying it to be a black protagonist? Let's think about things like that. Another thing that I want to bring up is, for this movie to be a double entendre, a play on the word soul, in which a soul is finding its purpose, as well as soul, with black people playing soul music, jazz music. I didn't get enough of the music part of it. When I watched the trailer, I really felt like, oh, I'm gonna get some good music. Me and my mom were both excited because my mom loves good music, but there was only like 2 really good music scenes. Only 2 of them in this movie that is playing on the word soul. And I didn't like that, because it just could have been such a better music selection. It's almost as if the movie even deserved to be called Soul, because they only really focus on one perspective of that double entendre that they played on the word soul, in my opinion. You already know I gotta say it. I absolutely abhorred the way that black women were portrayed in this film. Are you kidding me? How many more times are y'all gonna do this angry black woman trope? How many of them? Because I'm tired. Because the mother and the woman in which he was trying to impress in this film, the way that they were portrayed absolutely disappointed me. I was disgusted, because it is distinct attitudes for me. They didn't have to be like that. For his mother to be non-supportive, to be this practical woman who's just a touch of bitter because she lost her husband, and her husband had enough guts and openness in their hearts to actually pursue their passion, their dreams. Like, really? And for the other woman in which Joe is supposed to be trying to impress to get his gig, for her to be as stuck up and mean and closed off and standoffish as she is, like, who did y'all have in these writing rooms? Who? Because it was not the right people. Now, I'm not going to say all of my opinions of this movie is bad, because I actually had some things that I liked about it as well. Like, the animation is beautiful. It is really, truly visually stunning. I loved to see it. Like, everything, the great beyond. the colors, the characters. Like, I truly enjoyed watching the film. I didn't like the meat of it, but as far as just prettiness and looks, oh, they gave me looks. They gave me looks. And I also enjoyed how Black features, the Afro features, were captured in the animation of this film. I am here for the Afrocentric features. Do you hear me? The hair texture, the capturing of the different hair textures that Black people have, the noses, the beards, like that barbershop scene, which visually, on a visual basis, was one of my favorites to look at. Just seeing the different ways that they captured how Black men look. Now that I have to give credit to, because really in the fight for better representation for Black people, how we are drawn in animations, like, and making sure that it's accurate, that's really important. So for that, Disney, you get some brownie points. One thing I will note about this film is it absolutely could not have been for little kids. Come on now. We all know those animated films that they say they're for kids, kind of, sort of, but we know they're kind of not. Like Shrek. If you watch Shrek, I've watched it a million times, literally, then you would know that, like, the jokes and stuff that they have in there, the things that they say, is not 100% for kids. With this animated movie, I do not believe that their intent was for it to be 100% for kids. I actually think it was purposely meant for adults. And just how in adulthood, we get lost in why we really are on here, on this planet Earth. Like, the things that we are supposed to accomplish, our true life's passions and goals. We get lost in the sauce when it comes to just, trying to work a job, make money so you can pay your bills. And we have people like Tina Fey, Jamie Foxx, who are staple actors in their careers. Like, people who are more familiar with those people are older people. It's not even people my age, which I'm 22. Like, 22 and on up. Like, this movie was kind of like more so for us. That's what I think. I'm just really frustrated because when would Black people be able to have their stories told without it being put in a palatable way for white people? So anyway, those are my thoughts on the movie. So let me know how you feel below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Like,